Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Vishal Morjaria, author of Master Your Wow. Vishal, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Paul.
How did I do in the last name?
Yeah, you did pretty good.
All right, I did my best. I know we were joking around before because I have a tendency to butcher names like you wouldn't believe, so I tried my best. All right, well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and get started. Question number 1, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
For me, the most important thing that I think you should focus on is getting absolutely clear as to why you're writing the book in terms of what is it that you want to gain first for yourself before you even start writing it. Because if you're clear about what you want to gain and achieve and benefit by writing this book, as you're writing it, you have a clear perspective of what you're going to get. Because often what happens is that you may focus so much on what you want to give, you forget about yourself. So if you can get first clear about what you want, naturally the rest of it will fall into place. So I would say that being absolutely clear and having that clarity is essential to getting this book done in the right way and the fastest way, and knowing that you're writing this book that's going to get the best results. It's like trying to build a house on sand, and if the tide comes in, it's gone. So you want to create a strong foundation for your book, and I'd say it's having clarity.
I agree, especially getting the outcome. That's the main thing you want to know is what's the main thing that you want to get out of this, and then engineer your book from that point.
Exactly.
Well, what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Well, there's so much information out there. Publishers tell you to go with them, and they ask for a lot of money, and there's so much effort involved, and they have to review the manuscript, and sometimes there's an element of risk and upfront costs, and then the royalties being very low. But I mean, it works for some people, and some people take that route where they find some publisher and they figure out a deal to get their book out, but they have to deal with the low royalties and giving away the copyrights and stuff. But there may be a few publishers out there who work for authors. The way that I suggest is self-publishing, just because there's no risk, there's no major upfront costs, and it's just the most powerful way, I think, in terms of simplicity and minimum risk to get your own book done in your hands and also out there in the world. Now, it may not have as big a reach as some of the publishers, but it certainly is lower risk. And if you've got a few good marketing tips and some good marketing strategies, then it's a fantastic way to get your book done. And so I recommend and I prefer self-publishing.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
So the way I spin the book is that I either teach my clients or teach people that you should write a book and use it as your business card, because people don't value a business card as much as they used to. Most of them just get thrown in the bin, but as soon as you tell someone you're writing a book, or you give the book as a gift, or you give a discounted version of the book, people are blown away by that. Or even using the book as a resume or a CV. When you do that, it just stands you out from the crowd, because most people who are applying for jobs don't have a book. They don't use that as their book. But if you use the book and put your CV and resume inside of it, it just stands you out. So that's one marketing method that I use in person because I think it's so effective. The way that I use the book to promote me, I think it's so powerful to get out there in the world and expose yourself as an author because not many people are doing that. And then online, giving the book away for free as a way to generate leads, I still think works. There's people who say it doesn't really work very well. But I think if you have a good team in terms of marketing and getting the ads out there in a good way, I think giving the book away for free and generating leads from people who are really interested in what you do is still a fantastic way to acquire new clients and customers. So they're the two ways that I use the book to market myself, and I've found it's very effective for me. I guess you just have to find the one that works best for you.
Well, you bring up a couple of really good points. First of all, I completely agree with both of your tactics because one of the things that I do is when I'm meeting with potential clients one-on-one in person is I always give them a copy of one of my publishing books, typically my Get Published one, and every time right in front of them I sign it. I put a little message on there going, can't wait to work with you. Whenever you're ready, give me a call. And I put my number on there. So it's a soft sell, but it's a very warm sell. You're not pressuring, you're relaxed. I mean, one of the things that I always mention is I'm just a farmer. And they go, hold up, you're a book publisher. I said, no. I'm a farmer because all I do is plant seeds. Every single day for 4 years, I've planted seeds. Some are going to grow, some aren't. But that's what I do. And they're like, wow, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And it's really helps build the relationship and the connection. And then when you give them that book and it's autographed, you go, hey, can't wait to work with you. Whenever you're ready, you give me a call. I mean, it's so much warmer, as you mentioned, than a business card. And that's one of the things I always bring up in seminars is where do most business cards go? They go in the trash. And so if you're going to offer something unique. In our industry, I give away a bookmark, a very thick bookmark that has all our information. They're a lot less likely to get thrown out. But when you are especially given a book, autographed, personalized, I mean, it's the warmest lead you can get.
Absolutely. And it works a treat most of the time. People are blown away.
Yeah, because they're talking to an author. It gives you that credibility. Some people like to use the word authority. I think it gives you something even more important, and that's credibility, because you have written a book about this area. You are a subject matter expert. In fact, that's one of the things I was talking about. We had a seminar last night, and that was one of the main things I was talking about was not only that, but not being afraid to give away your content. And I really like that second point that you made, because when you can do that, I mean, when we reached out to you for the podcast, we sent a follow-up message, and what did we do? We gave you a copy of the book. Now, obviously, I know you and I are in the same industry, and what we do is a little bit different. But when you can give someone just an electronic copy of your book, just thanking them for connecting, that's also a great way to warm people up and to either bring in potential clients or potential referrals, especially if someone's in the industry that's maybe doing what you're doing, but maybe doing things a little differently. Like with you, more group coaching versus me that's doing more of the hybrid publishing side. So it's just great for relationship building because, as I emphasize to all of our clients, to our listeners, you can make good, some decent money on the front end with the royalties, but you make the life changing money on the back end with the business, with the offers, with the products that you have. That's what makes the biggest difference. That's why I think everyone should be giving away copies of their book, because that's where you're going to make the life changing money and be able to help people with their goals. So I think it just makes a really huge difference having both of those strategies.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about your favorite book. So what is your favorite book? And what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Do you know what? I don't have a favorite book, but I am going to mention this one because I really think it helped me open my mind in terms of money and finance, because I came from a background where I didn't see a lot of money growing up in my family. So The book that really impacted me and helped me open my mind to financial education, I'd say, is Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was a great starting point, and it gave me the basic understanding of what an asset and what a liability is. And that whole book just opened my mind up to financial education in a different way, in a way in which I'd never come across. And so I would say that book was a great starting point for me. And that was a good 11 odd years ago. So I loved that book, and I'd certainly recommend that book to anyone of any age. And I have done many times. I think it's a brilliant book.
And for our final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
I don't have a favorite quote, but what I do want to say is that if you can take some time every single day to connect with you, as in spend some time in silence and figure out what is it that you really want in your life, and then do everything in your power and your ability to pursue that, I really think you'll have a happy, fulfilling, and successful life.
Well, Vishal, I want to thank you for being a guest on this show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
So you can just look me up on social media as Vishal Morjaria. So you can just go on Facebook and type in Vishal Morjaria. I'm sure the spelling is somewhere on this podcast, but it's Vishal, Vishal, and then Morjaria, Morjaria. That's Morjaria, Vishal Morjaria. Thank you so much, Paul.
Vishal, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead. Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.